kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome everybody. Fred's with me over there. Say hi, Fred. Roy's with me. Say hi.
I'm
Roy.
here too. Hi, Rory.
How you doing, Roy?
I'm doing pretty well. I am doing pretty good. We're approaching the end of the week. I've almost got that Friday feeling. Almost. But it's all positive anyway because I enjoyed this part of the day so very much.
Yeah, so...
Look at all the snazzy graphics.
Here we are. We want to... The problem we've basically determined, I think you were with us, is that when we remove, it's not good. If I come in and remove blinded,
Yeah,
it looks okay.
it does.
But it may or may not be good. If I now remove deafened, we know at this point it's bad. Because if I remove frightened at this point, we get to here. So we have a reproducible sequence.
That's really good that we have that. I know it's a bug and it's a problem. I was not here when you determined that.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
so
but that is really useful.
Yeah, it is really useful. So let me get rid of, let me clear all those conditions, and we'll maybe work only with Shanti there. I'm going to make the other kids disappear. Whoops, I just realized that number 2 was targeted. Is that right? Knockdown. All right, we'll work only with knockdown. We'll get rid of Shanti, and we'll work only with knockdown. So my thoughts on this, when I saw this yesterday, was, gosh darn it, we got to hit it again. I did try, by the way. Now here's a really weird thing that we discovered. If we go in and let's say I add all of these like that. So there's my minimum case scenario. I remove blinded, deafened, and I'm about to remove frightened. At this point, before I remove frightened, if I hit the restack button, nothing happens, right? The positions stay the same. Click, click, click.
Yeah.
You hear that. Now if I remove frightened, it works.
So we are fixing some fundamental internal thing, even though nothing graphically changes.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because the positions are right, but something else is different. And what I think it is, my theory is, and I don't understand why this would be true, but when we, let's do this. Let's go look for as condition state, look for this.
It's interesting because it means we must have entered a steady state of wrong. It's not even a in the moment or a conflict or a race condition. There's just something fundamentally not good in that frame of time, and it's not changing. It's continually bad.
Yep.
Which is, again, actually, strangely, it's really good because we can just go look at the data and determine what that badness is.
Yeah, at least we have this reproducible. Okay, here is what I think is, this is like kind of the fix that I thought was going to work. So when we are animating the sprites into position, I was going to make sure that whatever the target X and Y we set, that the final X and Y, I was thinking, well, maybe these weren't getting set. Okay. And in our restack, they were getting set correctly. But I looked for ease, calls to ease. I'm going back up and I jump to another file. I tab down, I'm in Condition Manager, tab again. I got another one here. Move and scale, condition sprite. I think this is only happening on the player side of things. Move player conditions. Yeah, but to be fair, we really need to set the condition state final X and final Y here as well. So I'm going to do this. I don't think this is going to fix it, but anytime I use something from one position to another, I want to make sure its final X and Y are correct. Before I do that, do we have... I just want to make sure I'm not already doing that. Looks like I'm not doing that already. Okay. So I'm going to come in here and put a local, type TCS, condition state. I added this shortcut yesterday. And I'm going to say condition state dot final X equal to X. Condition state dot final Y is is equal to condition sprite dot y. I'm pretty sure that's not going to fix it. We shouldn't get a call here because there's that dialog that came up when I hit Control Shift S, I think, to save all. Move player. Speaking of which, do I have Dropbox is still running. I am going to stop it. Pause it right now. And okay, so I don't think that's going to make any change. Let's just in case, just to be, sure, let's refresh. I'm going to drag this off to another monitor right here. That's going to go on another monitor, so I can click that refresh cache of current page button right here.
Yep.
That's because I'm expecting to be able to do that a lot. I'm going to hit my refresh button on the Stream Deck, clear all, and then we'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bring those up, then remove blinded, then remove deafened, and now I'm going to remove bright. Okay, so that did not fix it.
Bug's still present.
Bug's still present, but I just wanted to make sure that my call to ease, that every call to ease in here, what's going on here? Oh, these are move NPC conditions too. I should fix it here too. But this is also not the bug, because this only happens when I do something like this. It's just moving them left and right. That's what's happening. So sliding them back and forth shouldn't have any impact on it at all. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to say condition state.final x is equal to sprite x plus delta, and the other one's equal to sprite y. And final y equal to sprite y. And let's continue to look for the eases. I'm pretty sure there are no others in here. Yep, and we're now in in-game creature manager. Although, hold on, where's this? Coming from move creature 2, move NPC conditions 2, move NPC condition sprites 2, and there we go. We've got the code we just, did we add this or not? We just added this.
That's exactly what you just added, yep.
Volume is a bit low.
He's not wrong.
Coding Gorilla coming in, our sound engineer over there.
Yep.
Helping us out, man. Every time, much appreciated. Coding Gorilla. What's going on over here? Don't need the sound manager? Let's get rid of it. Okay. All right. Don't need it here.
Look, a whole bunch more code we can delete. Isn't that great?
Yep, I'll take it. I'll totally take it. I love tab2nix reference in CodeRush.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right, so there's that. Let's save all. Come back in, do a refresh. Refresh the data. Clear all. And now let's get a reproducible piece here. 1, 2, and now the last one, 3. Okay. Yeah,
yep.
That's totally as expected.
All bugs present and correct.
Yeah. What's this one? Not being used? Never used? All right. I'm good. Let's get rid of this. Just cleaning up. There's no harm in cleaning up, even though haven't fixed the bug yet. Okay. That's good. And do I have a sound manager here we're not using? No, it looks like we're using it somewhere. Okay. So, how do we find this? Here's what I think we do. Let me start up an instance of PowerPoint here. I'll tell you I have the roughest seed germling of an idea.
Okay.
And the idea is that we go to our friend console.log, and we basically log out the IDs or the numbers, the IDs of the sprites in sorted order. So this is the first thing we do, and we just want to compare compare log versus what we see. That's my first step. If this is fruitless, we'll come up with another idea. But if this gives us a clue, then we'll pursue it. So that's what I want to do. Unless you got another direction you'd like us to go in. Anybody?
I think that the general theory of let's look at the data, and a console log is a great way to just pop that data out somewhere nice and obvious that we can see it, and we can deliberately elect to see it at different points in the system.
Yeah.
If we want to. We can compare it with expectations. You could almost sort of run the equivalent of an assert during, so you could be doing like the equivalent of a unit test almost.
Yeah.
But the basic form of that is let's look at the data at least once. There's no point setting up something complicated like that.
Yep.
Unless we think we have an area to do it in.
I'm totally with you. I'm going to do a couple of things before I do this, just to organize things so it's a little faster. I'm going to take the pieces that I know are that I think are central to this. I'm going to move them all in one place, down to the bottom of the file. So I'm going to take
nice little workspace at the bottom there.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn this on, draw condition indexes. That's going to, right now we don't see any numbers in there. That's going to show us what the numbers are in those places. Mm-hmm. I am going to, because I just want to be clear, right? Our problem, I think, is maybe here. Yeah, it's here in this state. This is, I think, our state problem. The reason I theorize that is because when I hit deafen to remove it, hold on, I'll get back here a second. I think this state is good, and I think when I remove blinded, I think this state is good. But when I remove deafened, I think we have a problem. The reason I think this state is good is because when I remove deafened, fatigue moves left, frightened moves up to the right, everything seems to still work. So I think this state is good. So I think at this point, state is bad.
What we need is a way to, at the end of any given shuffle, be it just because one thing has moved or we've reset or whatever, we need to output the set of data that represents where they should be. Yeah. And then we get to look at it at those, because we can prove that in that first step, everything is good. In that second step, everything is good. Third step, oh, hang on, this is indeed wrong.
Yep.
And we'll have absolute facts to back that up then.
I totally agree. So I've moved my condition indexes down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I also want to move Mr. Smoofy is in the house.
Welcome, Mr. Smoofy.
Need to be able to see the state of each after each action. Yep, that's where we're going. Jovanq. I was going to say Jovango at first, but it's Jovanq is with us. Hi, how you doing?
Welcome.
Welcome. We are trying to work out the arrangement of those sprites up there. When I hit frightened to get rid of it, to toggle it, it's going to get messed up. And we want them all side by side. That's our bug. We're looking for it here. That's what we're doing. Let me clear all in there. Let me go get rid of Shanti's stuff too. We'll just hide Shanti for now. So only Noctan is up there, and that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so the other one I want to get and bring down here is this one. Update conditions. This one is what we call, in fact, maybe I'm going to put it right at the very bottom. So we'll just get to that very quickly. By the way,
was that smart cut working in TypeScript there?
I don't think so. Let me try it. Cut. It is working.
It is. Yeah. Excellent. I did think that was what happened.
So I just put the caret at the very beginning of it, and I hit cut key and Control X or Shift Delete, whatever, and Coders will cut that whole thing for you. Okay. So check this out. We've got some commented out code. I was thinking about adding this here. We talked about it yesterday. I did do this. This was actually crazy, little mind-blowing to me. If we removed a condition, I set this flag to true, and then I executed this code, which was essentially restack NPC conditions, which is what I believe is called for the creature we just added, which I believe is called, when we call restack NPC conditions, it's the same thing that fixes it. But when I called it here at the end of update conditions, it didn't solve the problem. In fact, I think it made things remarkably worse. And I'm not sure why that is. But let's look at this. Let's enable this code. Let's refresh, and we'll just see if what I recall is actually happening here. So we'll add on our conditions. And now we'll remove blinded. See that?
Yeah.
It messes up the first one. I'm like, wait, what?
How does our magic fix-it method make things worse? Just because it's called automatically in one place,
right
rather
immediately.
than us punching the button.
Yeah, later. It doesn't make sense. I remove deafened. Isn't it weird?
Wow. Okay.
Oh wait, it could be this. What's right anchor? No, right anchor is correct. Creature ID. Yeah, no, this should all freaking work. I don't know why it's not.
Javanq is asking, what's all this about? So, we're building some software to run on another channel, Dragon Jumpers, for want of a better phrase. It's a fantastic show. It's slightly more adult. It's D&D live before your eyes with ESPN-style effects, dragons, dice, people with weapons, comedy, left, right, and centre. It's fantastic. Yes, jumpers, Mr. Smoothie. Correctly shown on this slide. But in order to do this, we need some software. So for the last, it's been a while, we've been building all kinds of stuff. So we've got NPC cards, we've got player tiles down the bottom there, the nameplates. The physical people will be rendered in place like Mark is right now via a webcam with a green screen into place. They're all actually in different physical locations, all brought together with a dungeon master and effects. We've had so many effects. The dragons throw the dice roll. There are effects to take them away. The magical effects caused by certain effects. Mark there demonstrating another one of them. And most recently, we're talking about the idea that spells or effects that affect characters and NPCs. And these we're calling conditions. As you see, things like crippled, frightened, charmed, things that are in place causing an effect. And we have these little tiles to suggest which ones are currently in effect. The trouble is that we wanted this idea so that when you removed one of them, all the others shuffled into place to have a kind of a nice sequence, left to right and then next row. Unfortunately, there are some strange goings-on happening here, and under the right sequencing, gaps appear, or tiles occupy the same state or same physical location as another one. So that's the bug that we find ourselves with at the moment. And yesterday we were talking about how wouldn't it be interesting to use our restack method, which was kind of a let's throw them in the air and let them all come down in the right place, as kind of a general reset. And since it was working when we pushed the button to do it manually, we thought, well, why not just tack it on the end of everything?
Yeah.
And then it'll just work, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently not so much.
Yeah. You know what's interesting here? I just did something else. I found a faster way to get the repro on it. And it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. And I hit charmed, got rid of the second one. Is that right? Maybe not. That flip at the end is wrong as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, anyway, I thought I hit a shorter one, but no, I don't think so. All right. Yeah, it was a two-step process I had. Let me see if I can find it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try taking charmed and then deafened out. Charmed, deafened. Well, with that flip at the end is concerning to me.
That's a bug. So you could have, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, 3? Is that what you're?
Let's try. I don't think 2, 3 is going to do the problem. Let's do charmed and now blinded. There's a bug because those should slide over. Okay, so yeah, so that's maybe a faster way of doing it. Clear all. Let's maybe make a note. I actually think it's a good idea to kind of do our reproducible.
Yeah.
Our repro
just
steps.
Trying to get a list sequences of numbers that we know cause one or more problems.
Yeah. And
so you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is your initialization.
Comma then.
And then you
2,
remove
4. I think is what it is. Let me double check that.
Okay, so that's our existing.
2. No, it's 2. It's charmed, then deafened, which is in the 2 position, and then 3. So it's 2, 2, 3 is kind of the way I would put that. So 2, 2.
We'll be a little bit careful because we're using a 1-indexed sequence of steps, but actually we've got a 0-indexed sequence numbers
you know what?
tiles.
Let's do that. Let's look at those. Let's use the tiles because that's going to make more sense. So it goes 0,
0 through 5.
0 through 5. Then we're going to press 1 for charmed.
Cool.
Then we're going to press 2 for deafened.
Yep.
And then we're going to press, what is it, 4
It's already
for frightened.
wrong. It's already wrong now. And differently to before.
What? Let's check that again. Clear all. 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then
It was 2 originally.
charmed.
Charm first, okay.
Then deafened. This is where it gets bad.
But
Oh.
now it didn't do that before. When you were demonstrating this at the start.
I think it did. But we didn't have numbers. I actually think it did do this before. How sure are you that it didn't do it before? Like, really sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'd
Okay.
say upwards
Tell
of
me what you think.
70%.
All right.
Someone go check a clip.
Well, I'm like 50% sure. So you win. What do you think? Tell me what you think.
Well, I mean, we haven't changed much, have we?
But I think we added the numbers, and now that the numbers are on, we're like, oh, now we know.
It's more
see-
noticeable?
Yeah, the problem is wrong.
Okay.
That's what I think. If I
Okay,
hit, by the way, if I
try
hit
reset again.
restack now, everything goes in the right spot, right?
Reset again, put the 6 things up, and try a slightly different removal sequence. Try 2 and 3. So deafened and fatigued. Right, that I think is what we were doing the first time. Now,
It wasn't. I know it was not.
really?
Yep, I
Now
do.
take charmed away.
No, sorry. Let's do that again. Deafened, fatigued, charmed. Here we go. Deafened, fatigued. That all looks good. Charmed. Still working.
Oh, okay,
that's all looking good.
Oh dear.
Oh, there's
This is why we need a documented list of problems.
Yeah, what was really interesting, so take a look at this, though. Hold on a second. Look at this. Bring this up here. I'll do deafened, fatigued, and then charmed. Looks good, right? 0, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Let's remember that. I just want to remember 0, 4, 5. Watch what happens when I remove, because it looks right. Watch what happens when I remove, I think, frightened, 4. They switch. Let's see if we
Okay.
can duplicate that already. 0, 4, 5. Now let's see what happens when I remove frightened. See? Do you see what's
There's
happening?
a difference in internal state somewhere.
Yeah, the internal state does not match with the viewed state, and that's why we need to be able to see what the internal state is. Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's going to be an interesting discovery. It is, I'm certain it's connected to remove condition. Add condition, every time I've seen it, it puts the new condition in the right spot, even if data is messed up. So in other words,
So that's good. We have one recorded specific sequence which we know causes a problem.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get that second one, because I want to see if I can get that before I lose that in my head. I think I put out 4.
0, 4, and 5. Oh, right. I see what you mean.
I put out these, and I'm going to try like deafened and then charmed. Well, no, I think that's going to work. Well, let's try it. That works.
Okay.
Let's take away blinded. Ooh, there we go. That is we'll call that one.
Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3.
Let's write that down. Because when we
Which is our
get,
setup.
yeah,
which is good.
when we get this done, I want to run through these 0, 1, 2, 3.
3. Yeah. And
And
now you
then-
took away deafened.
Deafened, charmed. So 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 0.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So 2, 1, 0.
Okay, that's another one. I wonder if we can get a
That's an
simpler
issue.
version of that. 0, 1, 2. 1, 0. Yep.
Yeah.
An even simpler version of it. 0, 1, 2. 1, 0. Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's nice because we've got some reproducible problems. We can now go hunting. Well, more specifically, we said we wanted to put the state out in a console log after each operation so that we could look at it and go, is that how it should be?
Yep. So I think I'm going to do, I'm going to call it at the end of the for loop. So the for loop is going through the condition enum. And we're really only changing one conditional state at a time. It's in response to a button press. So I can't really mash buttons in a way so fast. Jovan Q says, thanks for the information. You're welcome.
Absolutely.
I can't mash the button so fast that 2 condition changes can happen at once. So this will go through the loop. It'll find one, make the change, and get out of the loop. That's that's practically how it's going to. That's how it'll happen in practical. Theoretically, virtually every time it's called, it's going to be that way. It's possible to change it in the C# app that's talking down to TypeScript and send something different. But for right now, this is how it's working, which means at the end here, doing our diagnostics here, show condition diagnostics, that's what I'm going to call. We're fine to call it here at the end. We don't have to really look at after. There's really no difference in calling it here and calling it here, is I guess what I'm saying. Passing in the creature ID, and I think that's all I need to send in. Is that right? Yep. All right, so show condition diagnostics. That's what we're going to do. Here's what I've got. So I wrote this just before we started. We're going to get the sprites for the creature from the ID we pass in. We're going to get those. That's the first thing. We're going to pass that in to sort sprites, telling it the world is flipped upside down, which means gravity pulls it up. So when we pull out, put something new out, right? Gravity pulls it up. So
that's interesting to me. You're going to employ a method that does actively change the data.
Yeah, I am.
And then ask for diagnostics afterwards, rather than asking for diagnostics of data that has presumably been put in place. Aren't we in danger of damaging or fixing the data prior to showing it?
I'm not going to change the data, but I'm sorting the data because I want it visually to appear the same way as those are there. The reason why is the sprites are there could be hundreds and millions of sprites out here floating on screen. Definitely hundreds of thousands of sprites. Right? But only Noctans are these two right up here. Right?
Yes.
So passing in the green, and the order of those could be they're the order in which they're added, right? Not their other order. So, so I want to just get the sprites, and when I call sort sprites, I'm sorting them by using this code right here. Right? So I'm basically saying, hey, look, if final y are not equal to, then we can return the final y.
Okay, now that's good. So nothing about the sprites and the data attached to the sprites is changing.
Right.
Just the order in which that data is presented to us.
Yes, no,
so
but
it's not damaging in any way.
Yeah, but I'm so glad you asked, though. Because, if you're watching this, you'd probably have that question in your head, and that would, you'd want an answer to it. So yes. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
This is good.
So now we've got our sprites. Now what I want to do is, I think I want to loop through them. And I want to create a new sprite proxy for that individual piece. We'll just call it sprite, I guess. We're going to set that equal to conditional sprites of I. And I think I also want to create a string here. Not VS, let's do LS for let. And I want it to be the data line, I guess. And I'm going to set that equal to an empty string here.
Yep.
And it's going to say mark there, like that. And now I'm going to say, I want to say sprite dot data as a TCS, which is going to give me the condition state, like that. And then I want to do an LCS for that. And then I'm going to say that's equal to this. Actually, I wanted to make that constant instead.
I don't think we need that second colon near the as. I know that the TCS tends to produce those.
Oh, you're right. Should we fix that? We should. Let's go fix that.
It makes more sense if you're using it immediately after a declaration. So
yeah, which is when I use it all the time.
And most of the time that would be the case.
Yeah, so here's the template right here. What's this say? Type matches this. Okay, I want to create a duplicate of this. Create an alternate expansion of that. I want to move that one up to the top here. I want to be very close to this. Forget what trim left does. Why do I have trim left? Oh, it's getting rid of the space to the left. In this case, I won't need that.
You're going to have a version that looks and tries to determine if the keyword as is on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get this context, but I'm going to put it up here for this. If we're in TypeScript and the left text matches, and I'm going to say it can start with anything, and then be followed by any number of spaces, one or more spaces, sorry, followed by, oh, it looks like I have to double slash my slashes to escape those out here, followed by as, and the end of the line. I think it's that.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Dot, star.
So any number of anythings followed by a space, one or more spaces,
S.
and then the phrase A and S.
Do I need a space here or not? I don't think I do. And not in any comment and not in any string. And
This will only fire if there already is a space, because the TCS has to be separated from the text left of it in
right,
order
but
to recognize.
what I'm not sure about if the left text includes that space or not. I think it does not. That's what I'm not sure about. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get this, if we're getting lucky and got that expression to work. So I'm going to type in TCS here. Did not get it to pass. All right, let's look at it again. The second one did, which is interesting. So here.
Is our new duplicate a higher priority than the
it is.
previous one?
It is. It's a higher priority. Let's.
For those wondering, we're actually configuring CodeRush. One of the things we like to do here is to dog food CodeRush, make it better. It's an IDE productivity tool, just generally there to make your life easier. It helps us code, and in this case, we've got a whole series of templates that are there to emit somewhat boilerplate code, but intelligently into the code with just a few keys. So in this case, you see us typing TCS, which is a type condition state, and we want it to emit two different ways. One for the declaration of a variable of that type, which will include the colon, which will be of use, but also in this new location that we are, where we're casting something to it instead, and we can detect this by the use of the keyword as on the left-hand side. And in theory, when that's detected, we will emit differently and not put the colon out there. It means you can use the same trigger sequence in these two locations and get a sensible output in both cases.
Yeah, I'm going to try adding a space to it and see if that works. Just as soon as I take my pudding bath.
Yeah, the pudding bath, also a potential sequence of how to help Mark. Always doing coding and templates.
It's time for the pudding. It's time for the pudding show, kids.
Welcome, Pudding. How's it going?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add that and see if that gets us out of there. Get some sort of white space on there. I'm hoping it does. Ha! It did it. I think that's it.
Right. And in retrospect, that does make sense, because it was not the end of the line immediately after the as, because there was a space there.
Yeah. So TCS over here gives me the colon.
Beautiful.
TCS here gives me that. Sweet. Rory, I need you to send me an email so I can make sure this gets in the
okay.
Gets in the product. Okay. Sorry about that. You know what? Let's do this too. You know what I'm gonna do? You don't have to send me an email. I'm gonna mark an issue, and I'll just talk to the devs about it. I'll mark it as a feature request. All right, devs. So here we go. I made a change to the TS type template in TypeScript. I added one alternate expansion, which looks like this.
Mark, you might want to hide Noctan's details.
Well, thank you for that.
It's getting in the way of the display.
Oops. There we go. All right. So thanks so much. Also, by the way, this is, I need higher contrast here. This is too low contrast for the string providers. Needs to be higher. You know what? I'm like, since I'm on these. Hold on a second. Let me open up this. I think I've got a tools shortcut. I do not. Let's go to Dropbox. Bring up my tools here. Bring up the Highlight Explorer. Let's go grab this red here. There's my red apparently. The background is black. And so here you can see that the contrast ratio is too low. It needs to be at least a 7 right here to pass WCAG 2.0 guidelines. And it only is for large fonts, right? So it's not, and these are the older guidelines, and the newer guidelines, it's failing both, okay? So, so we need to fix that.
Mark, bringing the science into UI.
Yeah.
The science of great UI. I mean, this is it, guys.
Yeah.
This is exactly it.
So what I want to do is I want to take that foreground color and lighten it up till we get all 3 checkboxes across. That's the magic color that we want to make that in, and it's much easier to see as you can see it. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Let me copy that to clipboard. Did I copy it? I think I did. Copy that to clipboard. All right, let's and then the other reason I want to talk is that I want this new template to be added as well. So I'm going to send you that template, this export of the type references section, so we can import that. It's here and here is what's going on there. So that's kind of what's happening with the issue. Screech Rat is out there. Hey, Screech Rat, welcome. Glad you're here. Let's click OK on that. And I need to close up the issue. Maybe I'll call it, it's both an issue and a feature. I've got 2 of these here. I guess I'm going to call it feature request. And it's going to be new template for TS types plus issue fix string provider color, and I'm going to just put that color right in there. So let me do that. I put that in the chat room, and then magically our devs get a link to this part of the stream. They get my log files. You know, they get all kinds of crazy, fun things to help them go find that bug. Yep. And to fix things like that.
Productivity can be enhanced in so many ways, and this is one of those ways, is the ability to feedback with all relevant information with very little effort.
Yeah.
That way it is more likely that the feedback occurs and the quality of the product just raises.
Yep, that's what it's like. That's why we're dog fooding it. Javan Q says, so have you solved the bug? No, we haven't solved it yet. We're
no, sadly not.
We took one path.
We're prepping really well, though.
We're really good at diverting course, though. I don't know if you want to rate us by how well we're doing that. We are kicking butt. Squirrel.
The squirrels are everywhere.
Yeah. Except the code is in flames, chat is in flames, and everybody is in flames.
The chat room is on fire!
Oh, yes. It's nice and toasty.
It's nice and toasty here, kids. All right. What do we got here? So this one's good up above. Right? Is this right? Hold on. Wait. I just want to make sure that one is correct.
You were in the line there. That's it.
That's what I want to do right there. Okay, so now I've got my condition state there. We want to now say, we want to add the condition state to it. This is a const. And we're going to say data line. Well, no, we needed to do this. We need one other thing. We need, actually, I'm just going to do this because I want to visually separate it.
Yep.
And I want to do one at the end as well to visually separate it, because I'm going to do multiple lines, one line for each row of icons that we're trying to arrange and see where they are, what's going on. And now I'm going to say, I need also one other thing, which is a number. So ln for a new number. And I'm going to make that last y processed. And I'm going to set this equal to, I guess I could do a -1, or I could do, I don't know, I'll do a -1. I think, is that fair? Negative, I just want a number that's really crazy big, and I forget how to get it in, what is it, max number or something like that, max?
That does sound familiar, max, or integer max number. Let's have a quick, is it a number dot anything? That would be.
No, I don't think it is. Wait, number dot. Maybe it is. There it is. Look
max
at that.
value.
Brilliant, Rory. Brilliant.
Lucky. It's not quite the same.
He's awesome, kids. I don't know if I said this or not. I read it, and I don't know. Maybe I acknowledged this, and I don't know if I did or not. But Screech Rat is here and saying, kids, it is another beautiful day in paradise.
Yes, it is.
Glad you're with the Screech Rat. Thanks so much for hanging out. Okay, so last Y process. So we'll make it equal to, maybe do min value instead. Min value. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to say, hey, if, and I suppose I might want to do this too. If not condition state, then we'll do a continue. I don't think I want to do that, actually. If there's an error, I want to see it in the log. I want to see some problem there. So now I want to do this. If condition state.final y, so processed by their y position, if the final y is equal to last y processed, then we're going to continue adding to data line. Okay, so we'll say data line plus equals, and I'm going to do an interpolated string here. And what are we going to put inside of here? We're going to put condition state dot final x. There's one of them. Maybe like this. This is how we show the data. And I feel like I kind of want to do just trying to think of the fastest, easiest, shortest few lines of code to get these commas separated. And I bet there's a lot of ways that I'm not thinking of right now. But I think I want to say, hey, look, if length is greater than 0, then I want to say, I want to do a data line. Here, hold on. I want to put all this in block. And I want to say data line plus equals my comma separator. Okay. And then I want to say data line plus equals this right there. So that's going to be the coordinates of this icon that's sorted, my X and Y coordinates. And if it's not equal to that, then what I want to do is I want to say last Y processed is equal to condition state.final Y. And then I want to say data line it's just realizing it's the same exact code as the line above, so we could get rid of this and put it there.
Okay.
So and the other thing though is that if we're here, then we want to say else if data line, if we got something in data line, then we want to say console log data line. And then we want to set data line equal to nothing. Like that. This is a fun, this is a great template. If I have data line on the clipboard, I just type in S and then the quote, and it gives me all of that. So I reset it. I think that'll work. So now we've got show condition diagnostics, and we're calling it yes. And I think I might use this remove condition. So if remove condition, then we're going to show. So we won't show it for ads. Or should we? Let's show them for ads, just so we get a sense of what's going on. Okay? So let's do that. Let's refresh it. Oh, this is not going to help me here, because guess who doesn't have a console log really here? We're going to need to open this up in the instance of Chrome.
That's true.
Open up Chrome here. There it is right there. Let's refresh the data. Let's inspect it so we can see our console log. Let's bring up, it's not going number 2. There it is right there. Let's kind of bring it down. I'm just realizing.
Now we just omitted a start and an end and nothing in between. The hyphens
are
in your log.
That's surprising.
That says to me something's not quite as it should be.
I would agree with that. I want to just I Hold on a second. How can I do this? I'm just trying to get rid of the you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn off the back overlay. So I'm just turning it off so we can just look at this. You're right. That's really interesting. Let's continue to see what happens as we work with it. So let me clear them all. 1, 2, 3. Why is that? And then we get to 4.
Because we've changed row.
That's kind of what it feels like. But look at 4. They're all in one row, it looks like to me. Is that right or no, they're not? X, Y is 193.
So,
oh, no, they are. That's 3. But you know what we're going to do?
The 193 is the row because it's the Y.
Yeah. You know what's occurring to me in this moment, Rory?
Go on.
I'm like, what if we got a rounded off error? Right?
Ooh.
What if we've got like, we're checking to see if they're equal? What if they're just slightly off? In other words, the logic all works, but we need to kind of round up the numbers a bit.
That's interesting.
I'm wondering. Okay, so let's do this for the purposes. Well, I was going to say. Can you stop that?
That's different.
You got it? Karen comes in, turns something on.
Are you late for your airplane?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Why do we not get any until we get to here is the question. Let's go look at our code. I think we got a bug in our diagnostics code.
Yeah.
Running through. Oh, I know. I know the bug. It's so funny because I thought of it when I was imagining this code earlier today or this morning. I was like, oh, don't forget to do that, Mark. Right there. That's our bug. Let's go refresh. And
if things to log them.
Yeah. And now let's clear all, and now let's try it. I bet it works now. There you go. So 193 is the Y position there. 2, that's 6 we're expecting. Oh, you know the piece we're not showing though? We also need to show what the index is.
Yes.
So we're going to say condition, well, sorry, we need a...
dollar brace.
What is it? Condition frame index equals, I'm going to do that. So we'll see what the number is and then its coordinates. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And I think I'm going to want to definitely round these down at some point.
Yeah.
I think even to whole numbers. I think that's what I'm going to do.
This is the actual X and Y.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how could this ever be fractional pixels?
Well, it can with environments that know how to interpolate, that know how to anti-alias and interpolate based on that. And that does exist.
Systems that are just showing off, basically.
In browsers, sure, exactly. But we really don't need that. Also, I've noticed them when I have several of these up. Let me see if I can duplicate this. Yeah, look at the difference here. Let me zoom in on this. Look at the difference. See the gap here and the lack of the gap here? Yeah. Like, it looks almost as if something's trying to snap to anyway. And so we might be able to fix that by rounding. Who knows? We'll see if we can do that or not. Hopefully that'll be the case. Okay, so let's clear everything. I think I want to refresh. Did I do this? No, wait, I did refresh, so I've got that working the way I want it to. I think these are too many numbers to hold into our head, is what I think. I almost feel like, you know what? Let's go after this right now. Let's make it so the data we store is whole numbers.
Okay.
Okay? So we need to go figure that out. Remove condition. Remove condition with animation. Animate sprites into position.
I have to wonder if we're going to be knocking off that third of a pixel on that first one. Will that inherently change the left side of the second tile, and we would be introducing a gap?
Well, we'll see. I'm like,
fair enough.
I'm going to round
Good
these.
answer.
I'm going to say math.round here and here for target X and target Y. All right. And we need that there. We also need it for add conditions. Let's go look at add conditions too. And there may be another location too that I'm missing here. There's add condition. I'm using CodeRush's tab to next reference. Prepare condition for entrance. Here's where we calculate the math in here. By the way, if you don't have CodeRush and you work in Visual Studio and you like the idea of being able to put images and comments in your code, you can totally do that with CodeRush.
It's gold. That is.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially in this kind of scenario where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the math to figure this whole thing out. I should actually get a screenshot of this and tweet this just to show how useful this is. Let's see.
Because just imagine the tweet that, with very few words, explains why the flying skulls are good.
Yeah. There you go. So let's see. Where's my X and Y calculated? Where are we? We do have the bind for condition landed. The final Y, where is that being set? I feel like final X and Y would be set here in condition state. Oh, there it is, right there. So we're setting we're setting the final X and Y before we get in. Let's go take a look at that. Sprite, add shifted, bottom edge Y, right edge plus indent. I'm going to say, do it right. Oh, wait, no, I can't do it here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say QN for a constant number. X is equal to math dot round of right edge plus indent. Whoops, forgot to put the X there. And Y is equal to just bottom edge Y.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so we do the Y there and the Y there. Whoops. There. Okay, let's refresh. Refresh the data. All right, let's throw one out there. Way better.
Okay.
0. And there's my 1.
Same row, different Y.
Yeah, different X. The Y is the same, right? The second one.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah. No worries. And there, that's all looking good. So the add is working as we expected. We still have the overlap with that round right here.
Yeah.
See that right there?
Uh-huh.
I'm not a fan of that. Maybe we'll figure that out.
I think if that second tile shifts by those pixels, it'll actually fill the gap on the left and remove the overlap on the right.
The second tile, you want to get rid of charmed is what I think you're saying.
The middle tile is off by some pixels, possibly by as much as the rounding error that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's maybe what's going on. Which also indicates that this environment doesn't have anti-aliasing for, non-whole number coordinate positions. I emailed Rory about my CodeRush, but he never responded.
At that now, surely that is not the case.
Coding Gorilla. Need a copy of CodeRush. Go find that, Rory. Hey, who's that guy? Put some pants on, man.
Michael Jolly is in the house.
Bald bearded builder. I gotta change that. So it says bald bearded builder's in the house. BBB. It means all morning, but lurking away. Hola, friends. How you doing, buddy? It's good to have you here. I really enjoy the quality show that you get from Bald Bearded Builder's show. Is that guy amazing or what? The guy's got it. And when I was in there the other day, I only got to type in my response, but you're showing me your Be Right Back screen, and I really was impressed with how the quality of it, and also the technical achievement as well. I was like, how is he doing this? I have some ideas, but I don't know how you did it. And I thought it was super clever. So if you haven't checked out, if you're not there, I don't see how that could be possibly the case. I think the Venn diagram of CodeRush folks has got to be a subset of the Bald Bearded Builder folks. But you would definitely want to check out Bald Bearded Builder if you haven't been there yet. There's a pandemic. I don't need pants for Zoom. Oh, that's true. It's true. Roy says, Coding Gorilla, please reply.
I may have dropped the ball, but I will be on that
no worries.
immediately.
Look, everybody, look, we're all trying our best here. There's, I think, no question about that. Baldbeard Builder, have you seen Smoofies? I know you're lurking, but have you seen Smoofies entrance? And if you haven't, I want to show it to you because I really like it. It's pretty cool. All right, I want to come in here and go 0, 1, 2, and then 1, 0. Because we just did 0, 1, 2.
That's a nice quick one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do 1, which is charmed. And are we in trouble?
So the theory you had was that we were actually in trouble one step before we see the effect of that trouble.
We are kind of in trouble. And the reason why is because
those last 2 tiles are in the same place.
There are 3 tiles shown. And the reason why is because we're grabbing sprites that are still in the process of being disappeared. Right? The middle one was being removed. We have no to see this data, we're going to have to throw another sprite out and see what's going on. If I throw sleep out, we can see that we probably had that is what we probably had. 0 and 2.
Yes.
But we don't know because we were grabbing all the sprites and not the ones that, not only the ones that were back. So what we need to do is figure that removed out. That's probably exactly why. What do I have here? What is going on? This looks correct to me. It's just a highlighting problem. Okay, good. That's why this doesn't work. The restack doesn't work because it hasn't been removed yet. In remove condition, it just starts the animation. Let's go fix that. So then we can get our fix in at least. I think we know we've got now enough information to get our fix. Animate sprites. Where's my removal? Remove condition with animation. Here's the sprite to remove. There's the compare state. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, hey, removing equals true. I'm going to go define this in condition state. Real fast way to do that, by the way. This is how I did that so quickly. I'm here with CodeRush installed. I hit Shift Enter and then paste like that. And that's it.
Yep.
I just Shift Enter, duplicates the line. It selects that for me already. And then I just paste. So it's just 2 keystrokes to duplicate that. So now I've got removing in here. Let's go look at where we're using thrown and stacked. Get all sprites from stack. So if we're stacked or thrown. Oh, you know what I could do? I could just say get sprites for creature. I could just say stacked is equal to false instead of removing. Let's do that instead. Stacked is equal to false. Man, why is it so hard to find that false? There it is right there. So let's go back in and we'll remove removing. Not there anymore. Okay, so this might fix it. Let's try a refresh. By the way, Bald-Bearded Builder, if you are trying to figure out what we're doing here. Nada, let's do it. You haven't seen it? Is that right? I'm going to take that as a nod. Here it comes, buddy. Hope you got your eyes and ears. You got to have to get your ears on this, too. It's not as good without the ears. Here it comes. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to get your earphones on. Turn up the volume. Mute everything else. Here it comes. Mr. Smoopy. Love it. I love that. All right, so here we go. We're going to refresh the data up here. Good. The refresh is cool. I don't know why the refresh. Oh, because we're just adding them. All right, let's clear them all. And here he comes. Jetsam, not as good. Jetsam's like, not as good as mine.
Hey, Jetsam.
Jetsam's coming in. Look at this. Look at the contrails in the back over here, man. I just noticed.
Jetsam, where were you earlier when we had that big pudding spillage?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that cool? Bald-Bearded Builder, I love that for Smoopy. It's got a really fun style to it. I love it. I've got a couple others on my list here too. We've got some folks that show up every once in a while. This guy, Funks and Firepower. So I was actually kind of looking at stuff for those for this one this morning, right here. Okay. So let's reproduce here. 0, 1, 2, and then it was 1, 0. So get rid of 1 and get rid of 0. Aha! Look, it looks like we fixed the bug. Let's see if we can. Let's do it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of 2. Get rid of fatigued, and get rid of frightened. Look at that.
Excellent.
The bug is fixed.
Bye-bye bug.
Yeah, bye-bye bug. That's awesome. I love that. That is, yeah, that was not an easy one to get. So we're going to come in here. We're going to comment this out in case we need to ever do this again. Isn't that kind of cool? It was one small thing. We needed to say, hey, the piece we're removing is no longer part of the equation anymore. Let's go back over to our main stream now. Let's go bring the that piece back on, refresh it, refresh the data, and we'll just mash some buttons here and see what we get. Get rid of frightened. That feels so good. So, you know, the other thing that's really reassuring about this, Roy, is when we wrote this code, I remember thinking, this code feels like it should work. It doesn't look wrong, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so much better now.
I mean, it's great. I mean, you think about the bigger picture here. The algorithm is good. We remove an item, we shuffle them, it's good.
Yeah.
All that was happening is the algorithm wasn't being fed the right data. It had an extra piece to deal with, which had gone by the time it had finished.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not in time to make it look perfect on screen. Now, the same algorithm given the right data at the right time, it's so smooth, it's so classy. Look at this.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It feels so natural. All right, let's make sure we didn't break anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up the player. I'm going to target Miles, which is right underneath there, go into player conditions, do the same thing, start popping up a bunch. The cool thing about it is the same algorithm works whether or not it's one column or 3 columns or n columns, right? We set it up to work regardless of the number of columns. So I'm feeling like pretty good about this. Let me just mash buttons like crazy here, see if we can get any state that's bad. It's interesting. It seems like maybe we fix that other bad state problem too. Remember how sometimes we would get, when we're button mashing, we would get like a gap?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There's the gap. So we still have that. We can fix it with one button press, but it's not bad. Not bad. One thing I want to do, when I have a whole bunch of these up and I hit clear all, I want to get rid of I don't want them to all happen at the same time. I want it to go like pop, 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 pop. So I want to work on that next. Let's go into our conditions for our knock can, and we'll get rid of all those. Same thing there. I want it to go pop, 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 pop. So let's see if we can figure that out. Am I just sending? I think what's happening is I'm calling. No, maybe not. Let's go see. Let's go look up in our C# application. Look for maybe clear conditions. Whoops. Clear all conditions command. Clear all conditions. Clear targeted creature conditions. Looks like there are two singular messages coming down. Update in-game creatures. It's calling update. Well, maybe we're all going through update, so maybe we're all okay. Update. So if we're going through update, I feel like I've seen enough to believe that I think what's happening is we're calling remove condition repeatedly.
Yeah. Is
what I think is happening. What I want to do here is I want to add a delay for each time. On this. That's what I want to do. Let's kind of go in and see where we're going to start needing that delay. Remove condition with animation.
So is this one of those set timeout kind of scenarios?
I hope not. I want to make it. I want to try to use the engine that has things that can start at any time. That's what I want to, that's what I want to try to get to.
Start them as a factor of their position somewhat.
Yeah, like for example, here Blast we can say blast dot start delay start is equal to some delay milliseconds.
You almost want it so it's position multiplied by some milliseconds.
Yeah, no, we'll do that. So let's do that. Let's come in here and we're going to say num columns. I'm going to put it right after columns, but before sound manager. So I'm going to say delay milliseconds is there, and that's what I'm going to do. So now we're going to go out. So I'm doing it only with the blast right now. Wait, let's do one other thing. I'm going to change this to play MP3 in, and I'm going to say my delay milliseconds, and then down here I'm going to say delay milliseconds plus 100. Sprite to remove, not fade out now, but fade out after. And then I think delay milliseconds again.
Don't you just love whoever wrote this API for you to have provided these methods in anticipation that you'd want some delay? It must be a pretty genius kind of guy.
I want to go back and give that guy a hug, man.
Yeah.
Except for, it'll be like one of those antimatter-matter collisions, because it was me, man. I did it.
Oh.
I was a genius. I did the code. Sometimes
That's
it happens.
Anti-comeuppance.
Sometimes we write some code that works, kids. That's what happens. Yeah, this engine actually that we've built seems incredibly useful. In other words, and the way I measure the quality of it is when we come back at the engine with a new desire or need, and the engine says, sure, here you go. Yeah. And we wrote the entire engine is written from scratch, right? We wrote it, I want to say like 2 years ago when we started this, on live here on the stream. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's really cool. And recently we've done things with it where we were kind of pushing the engine in ways we didn't want to. Hadn't designed. Like the ease call is brand new, and we added that, like being able to ease from one location to another. Animate sprites into position. So this is. I just want to see, is my blast add shifted, my condition blast call, is it only there? Is that the only time? It is. So what's interesting, holy cow. What's interesting is that when we are removing a whole bunch of sprites at once, we're calling animate sprites into position repeatedly, trying to update that is what we're doing. Animate sprites in position, this is a little tricky because we need a delay in here, delay offset. But we have the start time for the ease, so we can do it. Start time, I'm pretty sure, is in milliseconds, isn't it, or no? Yeah, it's performance now. I'm going to call that, I think that's milliseconds. So what we're going to do now is animate sprites into position. We need a delay offset here as well. Let's drop a marker. We'll come back because I just noticed up here we got a problem because we need a delay offset here. So we're going to, keep going. Finish this one, then we'll get to the next one. So VN here, delay, there it is right there. So there's our delay milliseconds. We're going to throw it in here. Okay. We're going to come in here, throw in our delay milliseconds, put it at the end. And it comes right after columns. Like that. And then remove condition as our delay milliseconds. And now we're going to come up here and we're going to say ln delay milliseconds equals 0. And then I'll maybe put a constant up here too. Delay between deletes. And we'll say it'll be like maybe 150 milliseconds. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to say delay ms plus equals delay between deletes. I don't think I need remove condition anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this comment down here as well. We don't need that. I'll keep this one here just in case we ever want to do any diagnostic stuff in here. This is ESLint saying, hey Mark, you don't need number because I can tell it's a number. And I'm like, fine. And then so we're just going to do that. We could also do the same thing with add condition. But let's go in and kind of, let's actually hit a skip till we collect our marker. There it is right there. So here we need animate sprites into position to also take the delay milliseconds. So I'm going to pass it in here. And I'm going to need to pass it in here too. And if I don't have it, I'll need to go find it. Looks like I don't have it. What's this? Stack condition sprites? Who's calling this? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it equal to 0 here. So we're going to...
By default, no delay.
Yeah.
If we want, we can override and set one.
All right, so let's escape to get back. Animate sprites into position. Delay milliseconds. Wait, why are we getting a problem with Sound Manager? What happened? Did I make a mistake here?
Good question.
I think I missed a comma. I bet that's what's happening. Or no, I just didn't simply add it.
No milliseconds.
Okay. There it is right there. Delay milliseconds and animate sprites into position. All right, now we've got our delay milliseconds in here. So this is going to be start time plus delay milliseconds there. Play MP3 in, same thing here, plus move time, plus this. If we get all of this right, the ease is going to start at the right time. The sound effects will play at the right time. I think that feels right to me. I feel like I may have missed a call somewhere. Let's go look in our error list, see what we got.
Just one. And that's a failure to have milliseconds in the call there, perhaps? Yeah. And therefore in the calling of the function, which will drill up a little further.
Restack NPC conditions. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Animate sprites into position. Okay. I'm almost thinking, because here's the thing, in Restack, I want this to always be 0. So I think I'm just going to get rid of that, get rid of the other and pass a 0 into it, is what I'm going to do. But then now I'm wondering, wait, shouldn't I have a default parameter for it maybe? But it is coming before Sound Manager, so I'll just do that.
It is, yeah.
So I'll do that. Okay. How am I doing on errors? Everything okay now? Everything seems okay now.
Looks good.
Let's see what it looks like when we refresh it. So we refresh. Refreshing here. Throwing a whole bunch up there. And now I'm going to hit clear all.
Nice.
Better. It's satisfying. It's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's go to, I don't know.
It's literally that bubble wrap thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, pop the bubble wrap, and it's like you don't just hit them all at once. You have individuals and they fire in sequence, and it's great. It's like fireworks, in fact.
Now I'm going to hit clear all in the air. I'm not sure we added code to do this yet. Yeah. That we need to solve that one. Okay. It's in a different place is where that's coming from. Let's do this though. I wonder if it is calling remove condition though. It's not. Is this being called by anywhere else? No, it's not. Remove condition with animation. Not being called anywhere else either. Wait, how is that possible? It's got to be called by something else because that's the only place the blast occurs. Update conditions has to be called. I'm a little stunned. Let's go look at, let's trace it in from the other side. This is in the Dragon Front game. Oh, wait. I think my problem is I didn't refresh the front.
Oh, that would do it.
Yeah, let's refresh the front game here.
See, that's just how professional all this is. Even the creators of the system forget that it's made of multiple pieces.
Okay. Roy's the best ever, isn't he? All right, so let's try
It's just that smooth.
Let's try bringing up conditions for miles. And now clear them.
Done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. That's exciting. I feel like we are pretty much wrapped up in terms of this feature. right? Being able to come in, delete them, add them, you know, from a visual standpoint, it shows, again, I've got this little bug, but I'm like, okay with it. That's like a pretty easy fix. And it's super edge case, because what really happens is we're not button mashing with conditions. We generally add one at a time. So I've only seen this in the button mashing. These are some advanced dance moves. I just want all of you to know that. So I'm going to hit clear all one more time. We'll watch those pop right all the way. Yeah, way more satisfying, isn't it, Rory?
It is.
It's so much more satisfying than all of them like bing, like that, all happening at once. Let me just do one more test. I want to come in and I want to bring up a few more people. I want to target a few more people, give them all a bunch of conditions, and then clear them all. And I want to see what happens in this scenario. Okay, so here we go. Clear.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
What about if you give one of them 5 conditions, one of them 7, one of them 9, so a different number of conditions each, and then clear them all?
Oh, good idea. Let's try that. All right, so to do that, we're going to target, well, actually, we target them all. We're going to give them 1, 2, 3 conditions. Then we're going to target only 2 of them.
Untarget one of them,
And then we're going to give them some more conditions, like that. And then we're going to target one of them. Get rid of 3, and then we're going to target, so just 4 is targeted, and then we're going to give them more conditions. And then we're going to target all of them, 2 and 3, and then I'm going to hit the clear all conditions button. All right.
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think you knew it was going to work, didn't you, Rory? You just wanted.
I had all the confidence.
You just wanted to be happy by that. What do I miss, Ryan? Right now, Karen is sitting off to the side thinking Mark is having a seizure. Yeah, she's used to it by now. You bet she's used to it by now. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to call that wrapped up. We are ending conditions. Finally, we got conditions working. That's super cool. I'm loving the interface. The interface is great. So much better. And like I say, Roy, I feel like I have to say that again, but I was like looking at the code. This code feels right. Why isn't it working?
Yeah.
Right. The logic for moving these around felt really good.
The high-level algorithmic nature of what was done was good.
Yeah.
It was just being fed slightly out-of-date data, or not quite up-to-date data.
Yeah, and I think there's a real satisfying feel to this UI, right? Hearing the popping sound, seeing the explosion, a little bit of confetti.
The clink. It's that whole. There's the base visual, the tile itself. There's the augmented visual of the glow and the explosion as it disappears, and then there's those. It's not just the icing on the cake. It's half the cake is the sound effect.
Yep. All right, good. I'm so glad we fixed that bug, because I was like, oh my god, how are we going to fix that? That's awesome. Let's go into my list and see what's left to do, because I still got a little bit of time that we can go. Ballbeard Builder says, great fun, Mark. Thanks for the stream. Hey, you're welcome. Coding Girl says, want some cake? Well, you guys deserved it. Look at that. You've been with me for 3 days trying to solve this bug, I think. Yeah, that's super good. I know I'm supposed to move on to something else, but I'm just hitting some buttons because it's so freaking satisfying.
So much fun
to do this. Oh wait, I've got a doubling up. I'm gonna hit restack. I got a doubling up on the ad.
It's the same bug as the vertical one, isn't it?
It is. It's got to be the same bug. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm just gonna chill and be okay, because everything
There's
else
something slightly cheeky about it, right? So when you have this stack, you've been mashing things, if it should ever actually come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this gap. The nature of the icons is slightly, a bit of a wink anyway.
Yes.
And so then you have this extra punch the button and it just drops into place.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's deliberate anyway.
Yeah, I have to kind of mash the buttons, add and take things away as it's coming in. That was weird, that little bit down at the bottom. But yeah, I can always hit the restack button, which I've got, so I'm feeling pretty good. All right, let's go to my list. What else is on my list of things that I want to do? One of the things I wanted to do is Well, let's see what I got on my list here. Wild magic check. I did a skill check and then the wild magic roll came out. Actually, you know what I saw? I actually saw it here. There's a bug I saw and I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it, but I think while I got you here, we'll throw your eyes at it as well. The bug is when I'm rolling damage on dice. So to do this, to demonstrate this, I'll go into Fred and I'll bring up this great axe. I'll roll an attack with advantage so there's a chance of hitting it. And, or better chance of hitting it. And what I was seeing was, if you go here, it would be like max damage. When it wasn't, in fact, max damage. It was a new bug that had come in.
Okay.
Let's roll. Hit.
So I just want to roll a couple times and see what we get here. That's a miss. Maybe I'll do I'll adjust the threshold for the attack.
It's a hit.
Down to like 2. So every hit will attack. And I'm looking for it to try to reproduce it. That's not max damage. 12 damage.
And look at the damage.
All right, let's go look at it. Let's go find in the code where it, I don't know, do I have a max damage? Basically, this is often my strategy, right? Review the code when there's a bug. If you don't know where it is, start reviewing the code. So I want to look at everything related to max damage. Basically, we have a hard to reproduce bug. We don't know how to reproduce it. Where sometimes we'll roll a 1 or a 3, and the voice will say max damage. Oh, Smoothie's asking, are we going to address the bit of overlap? That is, maybe we should look at that before we go. Let's look at that and see if we can reproduce it. Because I was not noticing it, to be honest.
It was more noticeable when we looked at it in Chrome for some reason.
Nope.
There you go.
Got
You
the
can see
overlap.
It
Yeah, let's look at
it feels
the
like
overlap.
the middle tile is the only one that's moved out of place. As if it was... I tell you what, we're probably calculating its left position before we round the value down.
Yeah, maybe. I suspect... Actually, you know what it is? I think I know exactly what it is. I think it is the... it's when we calculate our scale, we are dividing the width, this. So this scale right here is, I think, kind of related to the problem.
Okay.
Like, I'm wondering what happens if I do a, no, that's not going to work. All right, let's look at NPC condition scale. Condition length including margin. I don't want that. I want NPCs. I want this times this is what I'm looking for. I wonder if I can just find those.
Wow, just imagine if you had tab to next instance of this expression.
Yeah, no, I know. That would be kind of cool.
Although the computational necessities of doing that might be a little bit extreme, though.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've only found one of those in here. I think there's another one, but it may be reversed in order. Oh, wait, no, wait, this is a plus. I don't want the plus. That's not what I want. Hold on. I want this. I copied the wrong thing to the clipboard. I want this. I do have two. So where's the second one? It's here. Condition icon link. I'm gonna set a marker here and just see if we need to come back here or not. I want to go into add, I want to go into add condition. I want to see how it is figuring out where to put that condition. Icon actual width. This is the scale passed into it. I think I'm playing with math.round here. Let's just see what happens with math.round there. Bring up the back overlay. And refresh the cache. Looks like I added a browser source.
Different.
It is, isn't it? Oh, you know what happened? This was my front overlay. My front overlay got damaged. There's some data damage in it. What is the damage? The URL got it like I was closing it down and said you had unsaved changes. Do you want to save the changes? It like deleted or something everything in it.
No.
Thanks OBS for no undo. Brilliant idea. By the way, OBS, watch our show to learn how to do undo. We did it already, and
we did.
Now I'm just snarky right now. Sorry about that, guys. What am I doing? I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I want to come up here and say this / drag in front overlay. That's the overlay I want. And put that here. 1920 by 1080. And what? I said refresh cache current page. Maybe I got to click OK. And it looks like that is maybe recovering and working. Is that right? Yeah. So refresh. Okay.
That looks better.
Yeah. Let's add 1 to this. Where's this used? Indent. Num tiles to left. Yeah. I like the plus 1 there.
Yeah.
I like the plus 1 there. All right. Here's my back overlay again. Refresh. Refresh the data.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that better. Let's see how they stack in multiple rows. Much better. Look at that, Smoofy. Just what you wanted to do. And now it's freaking perfect, man.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate you saying that, Smoofy, because I was like, I didn't even notice it. And we never would have gone back and found it, I think, if you hadn't have said anything. But now oh no. Look what happened during the restack.
The last one is like, well,
it's the same problem before. It's the same problem before. They got the rounding error. Somewhere else, I got to go find this kind of thing.
There's a vertical component to it now.
No, I don't think so.
Look at that last row.
Oh, you're right.
Left one is higher than the middle one.
I don't look. Let's fix the side one. Well, okay. You know what? I think it's the same problem. It's the same thing. We just got to look at.
That's true. We do use the same value.
Yeah.
For both height and width.
And that was in a remove that we saw the problem, right? Let me just clear all. And we're going to...
Right, so we add them all, and are they okay initially?
They're all okay, as I recall.
That looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's great. But now we remove one.
There you go.
Right?
All over the place.
So in our removal, we got to go look at... So we fixed it here in the add. We need to go find something similar in the remove condition.
Mr. Smoothie in the chat room. Perfect! No!
Broken. Yeah, I know. That was looking better, says Screetrat. I know, we're doing our best. Look, it's not all gems here, kids, on the show. Let me clear all those up so that
it's all entertaining, though.
We can see some code here, kids. You know, sometimes it's so funny. The show goes from We're not good. We are geniuses. You know, that's
yes.
we go back and forth a lot. What do I got here? I'm a little bit concerned with.
Wait 5 seconds. It'll be better in a minute.
With this one. Oh, here we go. Condition length times scale. +1. What do you want to bet that has a shot of fixing it?
It definitely has a shot, doesn't it?
There's a shot of fixing it. Let's see if that works. All right, getting a bunch up, and now I'm going to delete charmed. It's not bad. There's a little extra space between column 0 and column 1, but
arguably between row 0 and row 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. I see a little bit there too. It's actually, it seems like it's the very first one. Dude, look at that. It's the very first one. The blinded is a little bit up, and it's like the first column and the first row are both up a little bit, is what it seems. Let me refresh a second. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Clear all. And see if I see it on the, is it only on the delete? It's only on the delete.
Looks good.
It's only on the delete. So when I delete one, there's my problem. So I'm still not fully fixed yet. Condition icons. Link. What's going on here? I think part of it is...
Have we got a necessity for a round in the remove? Or is that already calculated by then? Because I know in the other place we had a round and a +1.
Oh, did we really?
In operation.
Let me go look at that. What? It's not finding? Oh, because it's a regular expression. Okay. You're correct, sir. All right. Let's change that. And look at this. We have this here. I feel like every time we see these...
It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it?
Well, this one right here, look, this one is essentially the same as this. I'm just going to say actual icon width. Icon actual width, I mean. So we're going to do that. Let's see if we can find this other places. Get stack height. I'm going to do it here. You know what? Let's do this instead. Hold on a second. I'm going to create a function. So we can just call it.
So this is on condition manager, scaled icon length.
Yeah. I like your name better. Scaled icon length. Better. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, why am I even here? Rory can do it all.
Oh, no.
Karen's like, we all think that. Karen, honey.
Karen responded just a little too quickly there.
It's a little too quickly. She's always there with the fast response, isn't she? Little too quickly, honey. All right. Get scaled icon length. So that's what I want to call whenever I see this thing out here in the code. Okay, so now I'm going to say times this dot scale, get scaled icon length, passing in scale. All right, let's keep finding it. There's one. I'm also really happy right now that whenever that I always, when I'm likely to write this, it's always going to be in this order. Condition icon length. Yeah, that's the +1 we just added. So I'm just going to take out the +1 now.
I hope we're right to be replacing it in all these places.
Oh,
that's the function itself. We don't need to do that there.
That
will create an infinite loop.
Yeah, you know what works. You know what works well, Rory. If you're not sure.
Okay. Well, we're not short of any of that.
We're doing that right now, kids. Here we go. Okay. So those look good. That's the ad.
That looks good. That's not broken.
Let's take out charmed.
Oh my God. That looks good. Look at the smooth perfection. I mean,
It's so satisfying,
It is.
right? To make all that work. All right, we don't need that diagnostics. We also should clean up the diagnostics because I don't need the numbers drawn anymore. Draw condition indices. Let's turn that off. And I guess one last refresh, and we're going to be. And now, unless Mr. Smoofy comes up with something else, we're done. We're going to lock this feature up and never touch it again. All right, now it feels and works really well. Yeah, we have something we can kind of ship or work with or use in the.
I think we can have justifiable pride in the quality of this feature.
It's not bad. It's really good. It looks solid. And again, Smoofy, Miss Smoofy. I can test restack. If I hit restack, nothing is. Oh, geez, Screecher.
Did you just
found a problem in restack? All right. So what's interesting is it happens on the last one, which indicates again a rounding error. So Screecher found it. Found another bug. Yeah, okay. Look, there's no need to count. Keep count on this, Jovan Q. No need to keep count. All right, so let's go find my restack.
Current level of known bugs is no higher than it was 5 minutes ago.
That's
I don't know what anyone's complaining about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're complaining about, kids. It's still one known bug. All right, so let's go find our restack. It was so beautiful and perfect. All I have to do is add one, though, or remove it, I guess. I can't add one, but I can remove it if it gets messed up. So here is the restack. I don't like it.
Just before that, it was wrong.
All right, let's go look at restack, see what we can find here. Restack, PVC conditions. I agree. Animate sprites into position. Condition icon length we're passing in. Restack condition sprites 4. Condition icon length. NPC condition scale. Okay. I think it's a quick fix though. I think it's just, instead of doing this, we're going to call our this.get length. What is it? Get scaled icon length.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fix. Again, let's refresh it. Hit the restack button. Okay, there you go. I hit the restack button, nothing's happening. Hitting restack, nothing's happening. Let's mash it like crazy.
There was, and I know Smoofy spotted this too, before your restack that didn't work in the previous iteration, there was also kind of an off by one somehow in the upper leftmost tile. I'm not sure how to recreate it, however.
Oh, right. These all are looking good though.
This is looking good, yeah.
I'm like matching these. There's that weird bug that sometimes we see the launch come from way down over here, which I don't get, or I'm not sure what that is, but it seems to only happen when I'm mashing. Hit the restack again. Yeah, the reason the restack before would change position because it would check to see is the position I need to move it in different. If it is, it just move it so we hear the click sound as it would move. We hear all those clicks, but that it's not happening. It's like restack's doing nothing when I hit it now, but I promise you I'm hitting it.
Let's do some removals of the earliest tile.
Okay, so that is, what is that, prone?
Yeah. Okay. It may have been eliminated, but there was, as I say, a slight off by one in that position prior to a restack.
Yep. Brian Lagunas is out there raiding with Party 21 kids out there.
Welcome. We love ourselves a good raid around here. What happens when there's a good raid?
I should be throwing so many punches on the dance floor, I think, though. You know? When I'm done with the really dance, I'm really excited, and everybody's on the floor just like, you know, what the mark? Why are you doing that? But these are some of my pro moves, kids. Welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are just wrapping up a feature that allows us to highlight conditions on players in a Dungeons and Dragons game. So
We've been bug hunting,
yeah,
and we found a few, and they're all gone now.
yeah, we feel really good about it. We feel like the separation is good. We just lined everything up, and what's funny is in the last like 10 minutes, we've been okay, that's it, no bugs left, and then somebody in the chat room's like, what about this? And then we see it, and we're like, and so we're back.
We have an awesome test suite called the chat room.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we call it it's chat testing is what we're using here. But they look good. They're finding ways to fit into the right spots. They represent the different conditions that you can have in Dungeons and Dragons. We have them working for the non-player characters as well as the human characters down here as well. I can come in here. Let's target Miles, or Miles is right targeted right there. See, let's give him blinded condition, charmed, deafened, fatigued. Right, we can see all of those coming up there, and we can get rid of them as well. The cool thing about this too is that we have a single code base that can stack them and deal with them either in a single vertical stack or in a multi-column stack. So it's super flexible if we ever want to, use this in other ways, change the number of columns, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that, is what I'm doing. Let's go back up to our NPCs and change. Let's just clear all. Like that. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to do one more thing. Just a slight note of something I found is on my Stream Deck, the buttons to do the conditions, I'm going to copy these and go up one level and also put them here. So if I've already got somebody targeted and I want to change their conditions, all I do is I hit the NPC and monsters button, and then I can go right into conditions. I don't have to hit a second level, because before I had to go down to targeting first, because this made sense. Like, let's set our targets and then go into conditions. Yeah. But now I've got it on 2 different places, so that feels good. I don't think I want to take it one level down. All right, next we're looking at that bug, trying to do a code review for the max damage. That's what I'm looking at right now. So I want to, I've got a bug when I roll the dice. Sometimes it happens where I'll roll a 3 and the announcer guy will say, that's the max damage you could roll, or something like that. Yeah. The player conditions still have debug numbers on them. Is that true? I didn't notice that. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Player conditions. So because I haven't refreshed, it could be because I haven't refreshed. I think that's what's going on. Let's go get a refresh of the front overlay. All right, looks like I have to go get that through properties. It's like, why are you so big? This dial is so big, I just want to get a button down in the bottom. That button is the button I want to hit. Okay, refresh. Yeah, it's just because we hadn't refreshed. So that's what's going on. So super cool. Super cool. Yeah, happy with that feature. It's great. Okay.
So is there somewhere in the code where we can just rig the data to be like minimal data that is the one that you suspect is going to cause max damage that shouldn't?
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go. We're going to have to review the code and kind of figure it out. I've got play announcer commentary and secondary announcer commentary. I think it's this one. Play, so with the damage only, well, play damage count commentary. Actually does nothing.
So looking at that though, it says max damage is 0, meaning the default value will be 0. Does that mean that if we fail to tell it about max damage, it will assume that max damage has been achieved if it happens to be 0?
Right, but we got to figure out where it is. Right now, this is code that I wrote to extend out for later, but I haven't done it yet. So I wanted to add commentary, but when I tapped index reference in it, nothing's happening. So this is not where we're doing it. Let's go back. Is this similarly empty? It is. Interesting. So let's keep looking for max damage. That's it. Okay, that's not that is not where we're going. Then let's
It's not that particular max damage.
It's not. Let's look elsewhere. Commentary. Nope, we were already there. It's interesting. It looks like it cut the line off right there. Is what it looks like. I don't even understand commentary. Double click it. Hit escape, I guess? No, come on. Where are you? Yeah, it just trims the line. That's interesting.
That is
In
weird.
the find. I didn't know it did that. Because it's got space.
It's a relatively recent change, though, isn't it? That the new find.
I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. There's just I was just looking at it. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Okay. I don't even get that. Look at this. The next line it's got.
It might... Oh, no, you're right. That's strange. I was going to say it might be an effort to keep the found value no more than X characters from the left of what you're displaying. But the other one's of comparable length, and it's there.
Yeah, although you look at the line, you can see the difference.
The whole line is not, so...
Let's do this, and let's attempt the find. Is there a refresh on here? Repeat find. Okay, find all. Just want to see what happens up here. No. It still cuts it at commentary.
What happens if you delete rather than add to that? Can you get it to show more of the line by there being less of the line?
Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's repeat the find.
Can't easily see that because of Fred.
Oh, okay. The answer, let's see. It is... Oh, now it's finding it. It hasn't... It must... I have to save it? Is that my problem that I didn't save it? Let's save it. Because it's showing the same... It's showing the old data. It's weird. It's still trimming at commentary, and this next one, it's trimming at RLD. So it's trimming, I think it's trimming number of characters is what I think it's trimming. I think that if we were to come in here and delete the X's here and add them over here, so add 3 there, we're going to get rid of the COM over there is what I think we're going to get. Yeah, there it is right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me lift it up. So
not easily,
Fred is blocking it. That right there. See
that
it?
is, I don't know. I personally find that quite annoying. It's not showing me the whole of the line it's in.
Yeah, I'm kind of too, especially because we've got space. If I didn't have the space, look, go for it. You know, truncate it.
Yeah.
But if I do, it's a little weird to me. All right, anyway. What are we doing? We're looking for more max damage is what we're looking for. And I'm really looking for like an if. We know it's not in play damage commentary. That's a total red herring. This looks and feels good. If total damage, play random, announcer max damage. So here's my problem. So here, look at this. If max damage
is definitely greater than 0.
Yeah. The problem is we seem to be coming here. Let's just look at, do we have anything else for this? Is there any other place we might be playing this sound? Because it would be nice to rule that out. It looks like we're good. The other one is a max damage miss, I think, which is unlikely to... Yeah, that's if we miss. So you get rolled max damage and you missed, which is like, oh man! That's kind of the sound that it'll play.
Yeah.
So total damage is somehow equal to, which is crazy to me.
It just means that there was a miscalculation in max damage, and it is a lot lower than we expected it to be.
Or it means total damage was somehow set to max damage along the path.
Yeah.
True. Let's. So this is, as long as things are only called from one place, it's easier to step back and look through this and look at the code. So let me close that. Play attack commentary. So if we can assume that this is the only way to hear that sound is if this line of code is played. Yep. Total damage is equal to max damage, and max damage is greater than 0, right? We're very... If max damage was undefined, and we wouldn't get here, right? So greater than 0 It's got to be a number greater than 0. That means total damage has to be set to max damage, or max damage has to be set to total damage. The thing is, Roy, I've seen it when a 1 has been rolled and when a 3 has been rolled. I've seen it with different low number rolls.
Sure, so unless the total damage isn't the 3 and the 1 that you've been seeing, which is one option, then we have to assume the max damage was fraudulently set to that low value as well.
Yeah, so I want to know.
So we're going to follow those two variables back.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So total damage and max damage are both passed in.
This, by the way, is where tab to next and previous reference can be so useful because it shows you all of the places.
Yeah, no, it's sweet. It's really useful. I'm stunned that a lot of competing products haven't duplicated this feature yet.
Yeah,
because it's so good. At any rate, these are both initialized to 0, but we already know it has to be non-zero.
Maybe hide the NPC data to just make it a little easier to follow.
Oh, yes, thanks so much, Roy. Again, you're improving the quality of the show.
I try.
Oh, you know one thing
Sometimes it works.
You know one thing we didn't test. I'm just going to I'm going to come back here a second. I'm going to throw a condition out for this guy. Then I want to make sure that everything moves. It looks like everything moves and stays
correctly. Yeah.
It's exact separation. That's all I wanted to do. So I'm going to get rid of 1. It's good.
I'm curious. Can you target someone? And and vanish them and now remove, are they still targeted and will those conditions be removed?
They are. So if
Excellent.
So yeah, I think there's 2 ways of reviewing that response. You're reviewing that condition, that situation. One is excellent and the other is what? So I just hit clear all, for example.
Gives you the freedom to do both, I guess.
I hit clear all and the ones who were targeted were cleared. Look at Shanti. I'm going to hit restack.
Trying to ignore that.
Restack works.
Oh, well, there you go.
I think it's good again because I'm mashing stuff. So restack fixes it, so I'm okay and good there. Yeah. So anybody who's targeted, the piece we're missing is that at this stage, I really should be telling the dungeon master I've got hidden targets.
Yeah. I mean, one way is to literally have something on screen that says that's the case. Another option maybe is to bring somebody on screen as something that is targeting them happens to them.
Yeah, that's tough because
maybe,
All right, I'm happy about that getting fixed. So I'm going to just say here, hidden targets exist, like this. And I'm going to put that, I think I'll put it under the Dungeon Master frame, which is in the upper right, is what I think.
I mean, the simple solution is as you hide them, untarget them automatically.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too.
Maybe there are reasons why the Dungeon Master wants to target somebody who is not on screen to hide the fact that something has happened.
Yeah.
This is the thing with D&D. There's always an exception that somebody wants to employ.
Yeah.
Anyway, we distract. We were following total damage and max damage.
Right. See how we're doing with play announcer commentary. Where's that coming from? Good, 1 spot. I love it when that happens. And so we're looking for total damage, max damage, clues as to how one could equal the other when they're not really true. So total damage plus modifier. This is okay. We're not in great condition because this is a global variable, at least to this file dice roller. So total damage plus modifier that makes me get a little queasy when I see that. Because I'm like, oh, okay, now all of a sudden we lost our ability to just be certain about what's happening. That's a possibility. Let's look at max damage too and see what's going on with it from here. Max damage. Whoa. Is that fair? I think that is fair. So here's what's going on here. The damage modifier of this roll. Okay, it's fair, but it's a little bit confusing. So the modifier is what we add to the damage. So for example, if we are going to roll, like say 4d6 fire dice, and we have it's that plus 2 is our modifier, then we add that plus 2 to the total is what we do. And so whatever that total is, it looks like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 plus 2, so it's 16. So what we're doing is we're taking our max damage that's been, whatever was been told that we have, we're adding damage modifier to this roll.
That still seems a little strange, because that feels to me like you're increasing the headroom on what is possible.
I am.
Rather than increasing the amount of damage.
Well, max damage is calculated by the die total on the dice, is what it is what it is calculated as. So in other words, when I say die total, I mean the number of sides on each die. So if I have 6-sided die and I have four d6s,
right,
my max damage is 4 times 6.
Okay, fair enough.
And so but if I have a damage modifier, my max damage actually goes up to the damage modifier. So that's what's going on there, just so that I can still compare the two numbers. Otherwise, I would have to pass in a third number, which is my total damage without the modifier. That's
Gotcha.
what's going on there. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any clues, and we're starting to get into Wild West.
I need to go back. Okay, that feels like a maximum distance of back.
Yeah, and we're back to here. Roll results is here. Roll results is created here. And let's just see what's going on here with it. What's passing? There's total damage. Max damage is the last one. What am I passing in? Max damage. There's the die values right there. That's where my, so this is values means, so on a 6-sided die, values will be equal to 6. On an 8-sided die, values will be equal to 8. So that is looking good. Set it to 0, and they're just going through all the die and adding that up. So that max damage calculation looks correct. Total damage, yeah, is the top number. And the top number, yeah, we're going all over the place, is, where's the top number? Get top number. So I'm confident that that is actually working and good. Oh my gosh.
Is there any possibility that this is a timing issue, that we're not grabbing the values when we're absolutely certain the dice have stopped, and what happens is it was max value, but at the last second it flicked over onto something else? But when we captured the data, it was effectively the maximum it could have been.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say maybe. Unlikely. The first reaction was unlikely, but now I'm like, okay, maybe. So score has been tallied. This is new code here. So if the score has been tallied, we continue. Otherwise, we're doing so. I only want to count the score once. Max damage. So get roll results comes in there like that. And what if we hit it a second time? Hold on. Oh, I think, is that possible? I'm wondering if we're calling this twice. And the first time we go through and we tally off stuff, our calculation for max damage, I think, is incorrect. It's incorrect because, hold on, I almost need to do this. I want to calculate max damage separately in a separate loop. I think this is a shot at fixing it. If this bug is, if this is where it's being caused. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this switch statement and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to get rid of my max damage calculation down in here. And let's go look at where else max damage is. I want to make sure max damage isn't in this for loop. Also, I'm painfully aware that the for loop is long. And I know that's not the best. And we pass it in there. Perfect. Okay, good. So then I'm going to go get my switch statement. And actually, I really only need this. So I can really turn it into an if statement. So basically, let's just do that. So look, hey, if die.roll type is equal to damage, we're going to do this no matter what. Then we're going to say that is what we're going to say. And we're going to get rid of the switch statement. Okay, so that's how we're going to now calculate max damage. And I have a pretty good feeling about that. You know what we can do too? We can just move this up to here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And now we'll get our max damage. I think that maybe what's happening is we're calling twice in some scenarios, and the second time it is not calculating the damage entirely. It's getting a subset of the die, and maybe one of the die is a 6 out of a 6. And then because I wanted to go back in and see where that max damage was piece here. What did we have? What were we searching for? I guess here we kind of found our way in. Interesting. Total damage equals. All right. I think we don't have a great way to test this and play this, so I'm going to just say, okay, that's going to be the change.
That's the difficulty, isn't it? The actual reproducing the error consistently in order to then prove it has been fixed is something of a challenge here.
Yep. Skill checks and saves. I fixed that one. I just want to look for more of the issues I want to solve down here. Conditions, we nailed that. That one's done. Skill test rewrite, that one is done as well. That one, by the way, I did outside of the show, but check it out. It is it's very cool. If you see the show, you'll see it. But I'll bring up the Stream Deck so you see what buttons I'm hitting. I'm hitting saves and checks. Then I'm going to bring up, like, say, Miles and Lady for the die roll. Then I'm going to go into skill test, and then I'm going to say, like, for example, performance, and click on that. Roll the dice. So we got this cool kind of, over the top kind of graphic.
Yeah.
That we're about to do a performance check. So that one is done. Let's keep going. Down here, long rest from Stream Deck fails to restore hit points. All right, that's an easy bug. We can go after that one. So that bug is basically I'm on the Stream Deck and I go into advance the clock. Let's actually, before I do that, let's take some damage here. Let's take 12 points off of the players. So there's some damage right there. And now I want to heal the players. If I go in here to advance the clock and I say long rest, we should get our hit points back, but we don't. So let's go figure that out. The cool thing about this is I can come in and look at it. Oh, interesting. AC is advanced clock. So my Stream Deck command is just an abbreviation, but I think we'll be able to find it. I think it's actually going to be called advanced clock. Oh, Stream Deck commands. I don't see advanced clock here. Do I have a clock? That's not good. Is it a set time?
Not sure. It's an interesting one.
All right, let's do this.
However, Mark, I have just seen the time.
All right, buddy.
And unfortunately,
I'm totally with you.
Somewhere else.
All right.
All right, but fantastic show so far. I will see you on Tuesday.
See you, buddy. Thanks so much. Great week.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
All right. I want to find, is there a clock command? Advanced clock command. Where are you? Advanced clock command. Why don't I see you? Where are you? It's interesting. It's not in the right folder. There it is right there. Let's move it. All right. Here's the advanced clock command. Let's set a breakpoint here. And I want to change this button. Instead of saying 8 hours, I want to say long rest. Like that. And I think I want to do the same thing down here. Short rest. And now when I hit the long rest button, well, we're not going to get a breakpoint because we are not running. Let's go run. Let's clear Shanti out too as well, so we can see more code. Oh, we can't do that until we run. Let's run then. Yeah, Rory's gone. Code Hustle's out there. Code Hustle, welcome. Glad you're here with us. All right, are we out running? Here it is. Just now coming up. And now we can... I think I'm going to need to refresh the back overlay is what I think I'm going to need to do. Because of the 3 that I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and do that. And oh, we're already here in the breakpoint. Toggling game creature. Okay, all right. Okay, so now what I want to do is hit that button to advance the clock. So let's go find that. There's the clock page, hit long rest. And let's go down here and take a look at what's going on here. I think distance is going to say long rest. There it is right there. So now what I want to do is say, hey, look, if distance is long rest or short rest, then I want to do a couple things. If that's the case, I want to say long rest is equal to true. And I'm going to make this a... maybe we'll just call it rest. Like that. We're going to have to change the these calls here to include that. And then we're going to say hours is equal to 8. So 8 hours. Actually, let me get out of here a second. I want to change this, I think, a little bit. This used to say 8S,
7, where are you? We need your help! Oh, alright. Here, I have...
Janisco 7 coming in just in time to save us. Pudding's out there with a pew 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 pew. I want to change this. I want to set it so that it sends out comma resting after it. So we advance the clock 8 hours and then we say we're resting. And I'm going to do the same thing here as well. I'm going to advance it 2 hours, comma resting. Like that. So that's how I want the syntax. That's what I want the syntax to look like because it's more flexible. So let's go hit the long rest button again right here. And now I want to say this. I want to say, hey, if distance dot ends with resting, maybe comma space resting. I know this isn't the greatest parser in the world, kids. If distance ends with that, then I want to say, well, actually, let's do this. Let's declare this as a constant. Okay. So now we can come down here. If it ends with that, then we're going to say distance. Well, we'll do two things. We're going to say distance equals distance dot replace, remove, and that's going to be, the start index is going to be distance dot length minus this dot length. And we're going to say resting is equal to true. I'm going to get rid of this. So that's what it is. It's not like, you know, it's not white space tolerant at all. What happened? Oh, we got the comma in there. Because it's looking for a word. We could change this in the regex. Or let's do this. I don't remember if comma needs to be escaped or not. Space. Can I do a W here for any word character? Or should I just do this? Actually, this would be better. 0 more characters all the way to the end. Let's try that. See what we get with that. So now we got a match. But now distance is not going to have that piece. Its distance is there. Instead, I need to check to see, hey, do we got a match? Is there a match on groups of 2? Is greater than 2. Then we're going to say oh, Coding Gorilla, thank you. Like that. Well, this does say 0 or more of those. So it could be an empty group, theoretically. I think. Yeah, make it an optional capture group. Is that correct syntax for that? I think it is. Like that? Is that right? Oh, yeah, and you're suggesting do this instead. I like your choice better anyway. Yeah, now it's feeling better to me. Okay. All right. So now if the groups is greater than 0, then we want to get groups of 2. Dot value, and I've been in TypeScript for so long, I forgot that I actually have killer features here in C# I haven't been able to use down there. This is going to be my resting stir, I guess, like that. I'm kind of feeling yeah, okay. There's a number of ways we can do this. Let's see what we get down to here. Let's all right, so there it is right there. So now I just want to say, hey, if resting string is equal to that, then we're going to go in and set resting into true. Whoops. That's my bad. I don't need that anymore. And then we're good. Now, then up here when we execute, we need to say whether we're resting or not. Okay. So we're going to I want to see what's going on with these two. Clock.advance, clock.advance. What's happening when we rest? I need to find the buttons in here. Let me run it a second. Because the buttons here, where are they? Add long rest, add short rest. These two buttons here, these actually do correctly solve the damage. So we come into damage again and we go and give some damage to the players. Is that not working now? I guess I got to refresh. Front overlay. Looks like Signal R is broken because we were in there for too long. While we've shut down, let's go in here and let's pass in resting. I'm going to do it to advanced clock. I don't think I'm going to do it to advanced state. So let's go into here. Shoot. All right, let's go see if we can find the there it is, the click. Active player recharge. Game recharge players after long rest. What's the rest here? Just says it sends a message to the clock. Cool. So I want something like this. How do I want to do this? Oh, I wanted to look into. Well, it looks like we might have. This is Visual Studio actually, but I'm going to mark the issue anyway, so our devs can look at the log files on this. Kids, just got this. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard and paste that in to a notepad instance here, and then I'll get that to you. Yeah, I just saw this was working, so roll back about 20 seconds and you can take a look at it. Let's close that issue up. All right, what I want to do here, this is the short rest button right here. What's the short rest? Recharge players after short rest. Okay, cool. I want to get that back up here too. I've had a short rest. And there was another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to get one of the things I noticed is when we go into rest right here, we set the clock message. The clock message is used the next time we update the clock. And then it's just sent once. So what I can do is I can set the clock message here as well. And then out of the clock, you'll see the message pop up. So that's what I want to do. I want to set that clock message there depending on what the value is. I want to do it regardless of whether I'm resting or not, though. I want to do it right down in here. So I think I want to say, hey, I think I want to do this. Hey, if seconds is not equal to 0, I'm going to send the clock message is equal to like that. I think I'm going to do this too. I know it's not good for localization, but then again, I'm unlikely to ever, famous last words, want to localize this. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to return a string, and we're going to say, hey, if seconds is equal to 1, we're going to say return an empty string. Otherwise, we're going to return the letter S. Okay, and so all that's going to do is it's going to either say second or seconds, so it's going to make that plural. I guess it makes more sense. It's easier to read and perhaps better to just say this get plural, and then let's add the parameter here. Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla says, next time on... I'm not sure what that says. Is that the Dragon Show? There we go. That was not... Pudding says, I feel scammed. Yeah, there was no Dragon Numbers last night. We were like, we had a group meeting, and we were just going through some stuff, talking about where we wanted to take it and everything like that. So we decided to do that instead. But we fully intend to be back on Sunday. So yeah, sorry about that, Pudding, but... it's coming back. Yeah, you know, we're going through, you know, growing pains, you know, that kind of thing, trying to figure out where everybody is and how we're going to do the show, how we keep everybody safe, that sort of thing, and still push the edge of the show. So that's what we were talking about. All right, so now I want to say get plural seconds. I want to pass in the string as a quote, in quotes, like that. And then now I want it to say just return name or return name plus S. I don't know. I know this is cheesy, but it's going to work for here. That's what it's going to do. It's not the best, but it's going to work. So this is going to say +1 second or +2 seconds, or that sort of thing is what we're going to see here. So with that, I'm now going to come down here to the next line, duplicate this, get that an else. If, and we're going to call this minutes is not 0. Then we're going to do that, and we're going to throw out the word minute right here. Then I'm going to duplicate that and go to hours. And I feel like that covers us here. In other words, when we're using the Stream Deck, we're only going to increment one of these at a time. So if seconds is 0, then we're going to go to minutes. If that's not 0, then we must be incrementing by minutes. If that's 0, then we must be incrementing by hours. And so we're going to just put that out there. So the clock will say what that time is. Because right now, when I hit the button, Nothing is happening out there when we advance this. Now, I want to do the same thing in advanced date. I want to come in here and say, hey, look, if days like that. Change this one to months. And finally, years. And I think that's going to be way better. Advanced date, I don't care about resting. There's not really a resting scenario here, I think. That's what I think. We could also add that independently over in the Stream Deck commands. For example, I could come in here and say, well, look, if I'm going to go up by a year, I could come in here and add the word resting. Because it's pretty clear you're going to be resting if that's the scenario. Same thing for a month. Oh, no. I am going to need to pass in the resting. I am going to need to do that. And even a day. We're going to pass in resting for a day as well. So we've made those changes here, but that means that if we're going to increment by those... Yeah, let me undo this a second. This needs to also have resting in it. Okay, so let's go do that. Add parameter. Resting. Resting is there. And then I want to do... yeah, no matter what, it's going to be this right here, and that can come in right about there, if resting is true. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. All right, now let's run it. See if this works. And that'll probably be the last thing we do. Chinese for dragon numbers. I thought it would be, maybe. Wait, those aren't called meetings. Those are called interventions. What are we talking about? Meetings. What is this? Quote exceeded for quota group, read group, and limit. Read requests per user per 100 seconds. Because I started 2 in a row. I started the app twice back to back really quickly. Is that why I'm getting this error from Google? I gotta wait a minute. It's gonna give me a problem again if I start it up again. 100 seconds, huh? Oh, he's ever getting warnings. Oh man, I actually have to wait. All right, let's do this. Let's get a raid set up, see where we're gonna raid you guys. Let's get that part while we're waiting. Bald Bear to Builder, he showed up. I'm not going to start the raid yet. We'll get it going. Let's do the test over here. Do we feel like 100 seconds have passed? Maybe, barely. I don't want him to be mad at me. Jeez. It's probably like 10 seconds away or something like that. Okay, can I just keep running, or what's going to happen here? Are we dead, or are we going to still survive? Looks like we're still running. Just hasn't loaded up yet. Can I do a reload everything now, or does it actually have the characters? Seems to maybe have the characters up. Okay, so let's give everybody some damage. There's some damage. Now let's advance the clock. Let's do a long rest button. What do we got? We're in here. I'm going to clear this breakpoint and run it. Did that look like it totally worked? Plus 8 hours. That looked like it totally worked. Short rest. Plus 2 hours. Oh no! Look at that. That's my fault, I'm sure. I got a plural in there. There's the plural I want to change right there. Okay. All right. Whoops. Plus 2 hours. Okay, cool. And it looks like it's fixing things. So if we come in here and, again, 12 damage players and advance the clock. Let's also look at like plus 1 year. Good. Okay, that's the last bug. Let's go send you over to Baldbeard Builder. Thanks so much, kids, for hanging out with us. Say hi to Triple B for me. And we'll see you on tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow. All right? Take care.